You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast.
Oh my God.
Listen up, ragamuffins. We encourage each and every one of you to drink deeply from the cup that is Fair Riverdale.
Your hosts, Michael, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hello. Hi, Ka-Pow. Welcome to Thistle House.
Shove it, Hal.
It's Archie Andrews. And I'm from a small town called Riverdale.
Archie got hot. He's got abs now.
Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
Betty's ponytail is iconic and beyond reproach.
Why in God's name do you have this cabaret wig?
She wears it when she has sex with Jughead.
Sheriff Jones now, boy.
My name is Monica Posh.
Dr. Curdle Jr.
It's Cooper. Hello.
I've asked Hiram Lodge here to demonstrate. Ram.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Blossom, a.k.a. Cheryl Bombshell.
Hey, Ethel. Got a minute?
Ruin her? Bitch. I love her. And she loves me.
You and Uncle Claudius are pig people and should live amongst the pigs.
The cyanide was mixed into a sugary drink called Fresh Aid.
Get your sapphic serpent hands off my body!
The Serpent Queen is a warrior queen. Because we're endgame, Archie.
Can you meet me at Junkyard Steve's ASAP? When did our lives go from worrying about who's going to sit next to us on the bus to drug lord mothers?
And serial killer fathers.
Right, you know what that sound means.
Take a sip of Fresh Aid, Jordan. Yeah, you got some over there.
Cherry flavored. See, I'm afraid, Cliff, that already sounds outdated, and you're going to have to add in a clip of Cheryl saying, "For I am Cheryl Blossom, Queen of the Bees."
Yes, I think we need some updates.
Put that in over Andrew Host. Cheryl,
Right,
Bees, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
We are Jordan, Cliff, and Seth, and we are talking Riverdale. Welcome to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. My name's Jordan.
I'm Cliff.
Seth. Well, I wimped out on you guys. After all these seasons of Riverdale, we've dedicated our lives to, basically. this big return, I wasn't feeling it. I couldn't get into it. You guys were right on it. And I was like, I couldn't do it. And then finally, I've got myself going, and I've watched, several episodes here. I'm not done with the season, but we're going to try tonight to catch everything up to what I've watched, and then we'll come back another night and do the last three episodes of this season.
Yeah, as we record, season 5 has just concluded. It was a 19-episode long season. The first 10 were aired a while ago, and then there was a hiatus.
Yeah.
It came back with episodes 11 through 19. So we are caught up through 10. So we've still got half the season to go. So sadly, we are not going to be able to do our beat-by-beat, line-by-line recreation. So if you live for those, sorry.
Yeah. Go back and listen to season 2 coverage. That's the goal.
Good stuff.
If there's been one constant in your life the past 5 years, it's us talking about Riverdale minute by minute, line by line. So for the first time really ever, we've
highlights.
Yeah, we're gonna hit the main stuff here for a little bit until we get a little caught up, and then we'll jump back into what we normally do.
All right, so I've got a few notes. We'll just, like I said, highlight some of this stuff. So episode 11 was Chapter 87, Strange Bedfellows. And where we left off on Season 10, we had just had the Riverdale High School Convict Teacher Conference Night, as I called it. The gates of the prison had sprung open, and they all attacked The high school.
The high school. I forgot about that. Gosh.
Yes. And then the episode ended with Jughead on mushrooms, slipping out of a pair of handcuffs and the bunker and disappearing into the night.
Maple mushrooms.
Maple mushrooms. So I definitely wrote down this quote. This episode began... Cheryl and Nana Rose are sitting in the living room, and the scene just opens on them kind of chatting, and Cheryl says, "Well, you are legally senile," which we
that's something you apply for. Like
I don't know exactly how you get accredited.
Yeah,
but Cheryl had to remind Nana, "Well, you are legally senile."
Yeah,
which
you
was
have
a
to
wonderful callback. Sometimes the references feel just for us. I know that's not true, but sometimes they feel. So this one had the return of Dodger.
Oh,
that
Darla.
Scamp. And his mom, question mark? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Because the actress is about his age, but yet it's Dodger's mom. So they're back. Darla Dickinson and Dodger Dickinson are back after 7 years, mind you. We've had a time jump.
Oh, man.
So they're back after 7 years to cause troubles in Riverdale.
What a comeback.
I don't remember what they were up to, but I'm sure it was interesting.
I'm sure it was great.
So this is when Archie gets a new hobby of bounty hunting. And he's going to hunt down all the escaped criminals. I'm sure Sheriff going to have to say no disintegration.
One of those escaped criminals was Cheryl's mom.
Yes, she came back to Thornhill and lurk around behind curtains and behind closets and stuff.
She's no longer wearing that mask. If you remember when Cheryl made her wear the mask and hide like behind the fireplace or in the wall.
Cheryl, everlasting life. Whilst in prison, I started my own ministry. And now that I am free, I can see plainly that continuing my good work is precisely what this wicked little town needs. We'll hold 2 services a day, right here on the estate.
A ministry? Shouldn't you be hiding in the walls again, perchance the Pope will come a-knocking?
Actually, due to my active spiritual work, I was up for early parole.
What we need is money, not some sham religion created by and for convicts.
God is on our side, child. When we start this church, He will provide.
So this is kind of the beginning of this, the idea of forming a church at the Blossom Homestead. And there was a trunk. I don't know if they showed or implied that JJ was still in a trunk somewhere in the house, which I feel like he's been dead and buried multiple times. But
yeah,
didn't they give him a Viking funeral? Like they put him on a raft, sent him down Sweetwater River, and shot him. She shot him with a flaming arrow.
Right. You would think that would be the end of it. Yeah, there was some kind of reference to through the power of Jason Blossom. Mumsy has some connection to the spirit world. JJ might still be. Maybe it's just the doll. Maybe it's the haunted doll in the trunk.
Yeah, that could be.
There's some mysterious trunk that they're keeping track of. And I think the most important part of this episode, it was kind of the first team up between Tabitha and Betty. Who Tabitha has quickly become an MVP on this show. I really love her. This is Pop Tate's granddaughter who's come to town to take over the restaurant, and she's smart and capable and like not as big a weirdo as the other cast we've been following. So I have a lot of love for Tabitha right now. So having her mixing it up with Betty for these investigations along the Lonely Highway and all the Mothman stuff and all this nonsense, like.
Does she have a comic book origin, or is she just a new to this show?
It feels comic booky to me. Like I could totally see her having been in.
Tabitha Tate definitely sounds like a Riverdale.
Right.
Yeah, could totally see that having branched off and maybe more modern Archie issues. You know, last decade or two.
Yeah.
So our job now is to decide, is that Babitha or Teddy? That team up, that duo.
I'm going to think on that. You keep talking.
Okay. That's all I got.
Because we had Jugatha. We had Jugatha.
Jugatha.
Dated, or, you know, dating.
Yeah.
So we'll keep thinking of Jughead, Bughead and Jugatha were his two relationships there. But what if they get together? Bugatha. That's the triangle. We gotta have the full triangle.
That's what we need. Yeah, I feel like there's something out there I'm missing as far as the
I'm sure there's plenty, but
the ship goes.
But again, like, this show moves so fast. I feel like sometimes we're even wasting our time being so detailed because so little of it matters.
Oh, it matters.
All right, so the next episode, 12, was Chapter 88, Citizen Lodge. So this is the origin of Hiram.
Yes. Or Jaime.
Jaime Luna.
Yeah.
As played in the flashbacks by Michael Consuelos, who is the son of the actual actor. So his real son is on screen. And
now he played him, the younger version of him in the Midnight Club.
Yeah, the high school episode. Yes. But just for a few little moments. So this was this is like the Many Saints of Newark. We get a full return.
I think that's where they got the
just
idea
like
for that.
It's just like that.
It is exactly like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thought of it. Exactly. But Camila Mendez plays her mother in the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an awkward moment here where we have Mark Consuelos' real son making out with his fake daughter. They're playing other roles, but it's still a little bit awkward. But whatever. It's Riverdale. So in this episode, like I said, it's the history of Hiram Lodge, and we learn palladium. There's palladium in them there hills. We got to find it. This is the basis of Riverdale's villains' whole history, and it's something we just heard about like a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
that palladium is a thing. That's what he's looking for.
That's good though. I don't mind that. I like that all this time. You know, what has this been about? What has all the prison? What was all of this
Sodale, unincorporating the town, all the murder and mayhem and land deals and the drug deals. He's a drug dealer, and all that, everything he's done goes back to these teenage years and this cachet of palladium that he wants to get his hands on.
That's amazing.
All because what was it? His father was a shoe shiner. Was that it? And where did he get?
Hey, whoa! Don't talk about my father like that. Come on, get your shine box.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember where he first heard about the palladium. Was it from a gangster? Somebody? I can't remember. I want to say like there. Yeah, that he shining the shoes of like a mob type figure.
That sounds correct.
Okay, and then didn't he kill
one
the
of
mob?
those Canadian guys with a Papa Poutine or something?
Papa Poutine. It was one of those.
Which I'm sure
I know it wasn't, but
they had deals with the Blossoms somehow. The Blossom owned all this land. So yeah, it's a whole lot of silly mob stuff.
Oh, it is.
There's again plenty of references at Pops. When there's a hit going down, there's a crate of oranges. They're delivering a crate of oranges at Pops, which is a Godfather reference. When there's a couple of famous murders, there's always an orange on scene. And so I wondered, was this the first murder? Because his shoe shine thing was right outside of Pops.
Yeah.
And there's a drive-by, and he gets gunned down. I'm like, is this the first dead body that ended up at Pops? Because there's plenty more. There's plenty more after that. It wasn't the last dead body, but it may have been the first one.
Murder diner.
Right. And then
so we find out how he changes his name to, because I guess because he just liked, the more powerful sounding Hiram Lodge.
He picked something else first. Didn't he say something else and then somebody suggested something better? I don't know.
Fred Andrews. Here. Jaime Luna.
I actually go by a different name now. You can call me Hiram Lodge.
Uh-huh. And have you filled out the necessary paperwork?
It's being processed at the courthouse as we speak.
Luna or Lodge, you'll still be shining my old man shoes for burgers, Jaime.
What's my name, Mantle? I want to hear you say it. That's right. And don't you ever forget it.
But the whole
I think
point
I think he said something. I don't remember. But anyway.
The whole point was to distance himself from his father and family and the shoe shine boy thing he had going on to become.
Yeah. Maybe he probably said like he wanted to be Hiram Motel, and someone was like, no. Yeah. We got something better. Lodge.
Yeah. Hiram Days Inn. Just didn't have the same ring to it.
But you think he'd understand Veronica a little better, who she has changed her name multiple times to escape her father's shadow kind of thing. But yeah, it's very Goodfellas. It shows him getting in with the local mob guy and getting.
I'm glad you said that because I don't think Cliff got your Shine Box reference.
Yeah, he starts doing deliveries and shows that he can be trusted, so he moves further up in the organization. And any mob movie like that, that's pretty familiar. And then at one point, I didn't even write down who said this. I think it was maybe Reggie. Yeah, because it goes back to modern day, and Reggie's working for Hiram. He's like, I have good ideas. I was like, he sounds like Fredo in that moment of that, like, I'm smart, not like everybody says. Let me, it's like, so Reggie as Fredo makes a lot of sense. I'm going to assume that's who it was.
Yeah. Yeah, he like earned his respect, and he wants a little more currency in the game here.
Yes, it must have been Reggie, because I wrote down this would be a good time to share some Doritos. So that must have been a meeting between Reggie and Hiram, where he says, "I have good ideas."
All the best, deals, and you get the best closure when you get over a bag of
Doritos,
nacho cheese Doritos, and a submarine sandwich.
I was gonna say a submarine sandwich.
Oh.
All right, so I don't like Hiram as a character all that much. I don't know that this episode made me like him more or less. It just sort of, fleshed out a few things.
Yeah, I'll say something later. I agree. I get sick of him sometime, always just twirling his mustache. It's like, what are you twirling about? I feel like lately he's getting some comeuppance, so he's more endearing when he's eating shit.
He's just been the big bad for so long, and they keep coming back to that well. It's just like, let's move on, guys.
And always has the right plans, and he knows exactly how to push this button. So yeah, seeing him younger and not as experienced, I guess it's all right. So now we move to episode 13, chapter 89, Reservoir Dogs. This is, I believe, we get Archie's fighting in a World War I trench for some reason. Whatever war he was in, we're still not sure. It was fought very archaically, and the equipment was very old. The equipment looked World War II era. All the trenches and stuff felt very World War I. So it was a bad time. He came in with PTSD, and this was, I think this was the episode that focused most on that. This was the bingo episode.
Oh, how could we forget about bingo?
They had a company dog. named Bingo. No, they didn't. It's a mash twist. Bingo was a baby.
Bingo was his name-o.
So Archie had repressed it so much, a guy in his company got killed. Archie was going to go topside and do something, but Bingo went instead, and he ended up getting killed. Or no. Archie didn't want anybody to go in danger, so Archie went himself.
Yeah.
And while he was gone, everyone else got killed. That's
right.
That makes a lot more character sense, because Archie wants to be the go hard charging guy. So yeah, we learn all this PTSD.
And he learned nothing.
Right.
He will continue to charge forward.
So this is Uncle Frank's been hanging around the house.
Right.
This other guy with what's the other veteran whose life he's
Jackson.
saved? Jackson.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, Eric. They've all been living together. I wrote down nothing cures PTSD like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We must have had another product placement moment around the breakfast table, eating some delicious Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Does anybody else yawn every time Uncle Frank comes around?
That's get on my phone time. When they're sitting there talking, it's the most boring conversations.
Because how was he introduced? Like, wasn't he like a...
He was a mercenary.
He was a like Fred replacement, you know, was all he was. A weak Fred replacement.
That's all I think of when he's on screen is, hey, that's not Senior Archie. Like, it would be so much better.
He's just wearing somebody else's flannel.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Aren't we all?
So, Betty is out on the lonely highway trying to
This
figure out
is
what happened to
tired too. This storyline is worn out every episode.
And her sister has been missing for a long time, and literally anything else she does, oh, we're at Pops, or we're doing this, or we have a side thing over here. It's like, shouldn't you be looking for your sister? Like, it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like they don't care that much. But yeah, she's... Again, I'm not 100% sure on the context, but I wrote, Betty is such a bad FBI agent. But the FBI is also pretty bad at stings. That's right. She found somebody who stopped for her, and she like, FBI, freeze!
Mm-hmm.
But it was an FBI agent trying to sting.
Yeah.
So the FBI's plan is to drive a truck up and down on the highway and see if they can find a woman. And Betty's plan is to pretend to
be the woman.
To be the woman. And nobody's talking to each other. So Betty is really bad at her job, but so is the FBI.
And the whole thing is, you know, from our perspective on the show, is it's all this stuff about Polly, and Polly was never anybody. Like, she had the twin. She was never a likable character. She was always just a plot device.
Yeah. I can't think of any big important scene she was in or anything that really like endeared her to us.
Yeah.
We were endeared to Moose, though. Moose showed back up in this episode.
Okay.
No memory of that.
Right?
I remember he showed up at some point.
You say so.
It must have been super memorable.
Did he have a beard?
Sure, I'm going to say yes.
I think he had a beard.
That seems right.
I remember. Okay, so Moose wasn't he like involved with Fangs? Wasn't that it?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm gonna hate if I'm wrong.
I think maybe at one point.
I thought that's how he got introduced, and like Kevin comes in and he's like, oh, you know, what's going on? Because Moose and Kevin
He did have a beard. It was Midge. The clumpster.
Everything's alright, yes, everything's alright.
Let me start by saying, I'm sorry you had to walk in on that, Kev. Moose and I were trying to figure out a way to tell you without causing a spiral.
My spiraling days are over.
Listen, I know this may be impossible, Kev, but I'd love for us to be friends.
We are friends. Thanks. And if you and Moose make each other happy, then I'm happy too. Seriously.
Everything's alright, yes, everything's alright.
Everything's all right. Yes.
Well, more importantly,
everything's
the gang
fine.
bought a dog.
Bingo.
No, they got a. They got a therapy dog or a service dog or something.
We named the dog Indiana.
And they find out somebody around Sketch Alley is doing dog fighting, and Archie will not abide that. He's gonna find out who did it. And I wrote down having the thought, Archie's gonna end up having to fight a dog, isn't he?
Yeah.
I had the thought of him going into a dog fighting ring. Like, come on, bro. It's like, if you want to save this dog, you're gonna have to fight him. And I was like, that was the most. I thought that was perfectly reasonable. That was the thing that would happen.
Yeah. It is. Like, I was just sitting there thinking, like, I have no memory of this, but if you would have told me that exact thing happened, I would have been like,
Hey, he did fight a bear.
How many opportunities have I missed? I could have just been feeding stuff in that.
That would have been awesome. Like,
we would have never known.
He got a new scar.
Yeah. He's got a long history fighting animals. He fought the bear. He fought the guy in the bear suit. I mean, if you say he fought a dog, I'm going to believe he fought a dog.
Hey, he fought in World War One. Everything. So, yeah, that's where they got the dog. They stop the evil dog fighting ring, and they take this dog home to give it some loving. Somebody got wanged with a wrench. That was important enough to write down, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure that was in the big action
That's how he
scene.
beat the dog.
Hopefully. So that's the moment Archie's able to open up about Bingo and what really happened. And every time they said Bingo very earnestly, poor Bingo didn't make it. It's like, oh, Bingo.
Bingo!
So by the end of that one, Kevin is fully on board at the Blossom Church. And I wonder how many cults does this make for Kevin? He's any cult that's ever come to Riverdale, he has joined. Week one.
Hey, you have more fun as a follower.
Can our theme song
but
be
you
big
make
fun?
more money as a leader.
So that'll bring us to episode 14.
Oh, 14. What was that one called?
Chapter 90, The Night Gallery.
Yeah, I have a few notes on that.
This one was directed by Alice herself, Madchen Amick.
Yeah.
I've been watching the show for 5 years, and I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it.
I think it's Machen.
Machen?
I think.
So this was kind of the anthology one where Cheryl painted a painting for each storyline. So there was a different painting at the top of each one.
Minerva came. Was it Minerva? Is that her name?
Yeah, Minerva, the art dealer.
Yeah, she showed up, and the first painting was Archie mining, like a miner's gear on.
Another career for the Archie.
Yeah, so he became a miner again. He'd been playing one for years, and now they're mining under the maple grove for palladium, of course. He has PTSD, or I don't know. It like the mine gives you PTSD. I don't know what was going on.
Well,
I can't remember.
Hiram,
it's all his army buddies join him to help mine stuff.
Uncle Frank and
let's put a bunch of volatile people in the dark underground.
Yeah,
I'm sure
nothing will go wrong. Well,
bring the dog. We'll have a day. And he keeps seeing the ghosts. There's ghosts everywhere. Archie keeps seeing the dead members of his squad.
But I think by this point, Hiram had wanted to buy the Blossom Maple Groves, right? And that's what they found out about why he wanted it. He wanted them for the palladium mines underneath the Maple Groves. And then they decided that, well, we should mine that, and Archie volunteers him and all his basically the firefighters.
What happens if there's a fire where they're all down in the mine? That's the whole
rescue
fire squad.
Yeah.
Then we get
nobody is coaching boxing.
Mm-mm.
No vigilanteism is being done at the moment. Like,
who's feeding Bingo? probably making wrong references. So the second painting was Betty with a chainsaw, I think. And then, so we get her on the lonely highway again, and I don't remember what happened. It's been so long. But I just have written down this phrase she said to some guy on the highway when he was yelling at her. She said, "Listen, you're not in the United States anymore. You're in Riverdale." And I was like, that is a perfect thing to say, because who knows where the hell Riverdale is? She could be right. It might not even be in the United States. It's close to Canada. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know she's at her.
Did she torture somebody or?
Yeah, we're getting there. She goes to her mom's house, and what the heck was Thunder cross stitching? Was it a picture of Cheryl and Mumsy? She's like cross stitching, and I swear she's cross stitching Cheryl and her mom. And it doesn't make any sense to me unless this is like a Christmas gift or something. Who knows? I hope that pays off, or maybe it didn't. I don't know what it is. So Betty remembers or imagines herself in like Silence of the Lambs. She's like in the pit, and some serial killer is threatening her.
Yeah, the trash bag.
Trash bag.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So she gets the chainsaw to go after this guy. She's got him there. She's going to torture him or something. She's got his chainsaw, and he bit his tongue off.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I was getting excited to see her cut this dude up with a chainsaw, and he bit his tongue off. Jughead Rat King painting.
I forgot.
He starts going to his AA meetings,
and he doesn't understand. Because he introduces himself. He's like, "Hello, my name is Jughead Jones, famous author." It's like you don't get the anonymous part of this.
Right. Yeah, he's talking about it, his drinking past, his writing. I feel like we've got the story from multiple times about him and his girlfriends and all.
This is the clearest scene I can remember in my head of all these. Of him stumbling down the alley and sleeping with the rats and the homeless guy. Like I remember every moment of this for some reason.
Yeah, he's like it was his book release party blackout. He got rabies. He fell down a sinkhole in the pavement, and I'm quoting him. It happens. It happens. You fall down a sinkhole in the pavement. They don't go into that any further than it. He reads his story, The Outcast, the book that he got famous for.
Yeah.
He reads it to the Rat King, and he gets revived by Cupid's kiss. What the heck? I have that written down. What was Cupid's kiss?
Is it Tabitha?
Maybe.
I
don't know. And then we get
it's more mushrooms, maybe.
Yeah. At the end, we get the painting of Minerva and Cheryl. Cheryl's got wings.
Yeah.
And stuff, and they kiss. And that's basically the end of the episode.
Which I don't think we even see Minerva again the rest of the
No, I mean, we haven't seen her since then.
Yeah,
sure.
I didn't.
Anyway, I've only seen a couple of more episodes. So then we go to episode 15. What's it called?
Chapter 91, The Return of the Pussycats.
Our story is about a town. No, scratch that. Our story is about 3 young women bursting with talent. They were the best of friends until, sadly, they weren't. Our story is about how they parted ways, found their own unique voices, and then rediscovered each other. But not without some drama.
Speaking of haven't seen somebody in a while, Melody and Valerie, we haven't seen them since...
Been forever.
Season
Been
2?
forever. Yeah, probably. And
Melody leaves pretty early on, doesn't she? Then Valerie dates Archie for a bit before she...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, before she's off the show. So, been a minute.
Yeah, I love this episode. Like, Jordan normally isn't, but I'm a fan of the music episodes, and these performances were great. Like, a lot of these songs were good, and the performances were great. I dug all of this, and the story stuff was good. Like, so we'll go through it here. First off, Josie's big stuff now. She left to go tour and all kinds of crap, and basically left the Pussycats in the dust. That's been hanging over her head, and she's coming back. She's got a clear head. Years later,
she was on the spinoff show,
Katie Keene,
right?
Yes.
Katie Keene,
yeah,
which didn't go anywhere.
No. So Melody, she the one that wrote a movie. She wrote a book and then turned it into a movie.
Yes,
she wrote a book. They're going to turn it into a movie. And Tyler Perry bought the rights to it. He's making a movie out of it, and he wants a famous actress to play the lead. And she already kind of promised it to Val.
Right.
To Val. And meanwhile, Val gets proposed to by Alan Mayberry. And I just love when they give first and last names for no reason. But Alan Mayberry,
that character will never see again.
he proposes to her. Then we get Josie shows up at Pop's, of course, and meets Tabitha.
And that was Kiss My Hand, the latest #1 single from the multi-platinum recording artist Josie McCoy. Even as the mystery surrounding the superstar's whereabouts continues after failing to appear on stage this weekend in Berlin, the world wants to know, what happened? Where did Josie vanish to?
Excuse me, I'd like to place an order to go. Double cheeseburger, cheese fries, and a chocolate shake. Wait, where's Pop Tate?
Oh, that's my grandpa. He retired. Oh my God, are you Josie? Are you the Josie McCoy?
In the flesh, in the faux fur.
Unbelievable. Josie McCoy in my diner. This is such an honor. At the risk of fangirling even more than I already am, I have to ask, what brought you to Riverdale?
Just needed to take a little break for a while. Some me time to recenter myself and to write.
Well, what's it like being back? Is it how you remember?
So she sings and has a little milkshake memory of them up on top of the thing, and their performances there. She remembers kissing.
I wish someone would have taken a picture of that movie.
I was gonna say I almost screenshotted it just for old time's sake.
She remembers kissing Archie. She remembers kissing Sweet Pea by the pool.
And I think there's even a shot of Chuck. Remember, didn't she have a very brief thing with Sticky Maple Chuck?
Oh yeah,
his redemption arc.
Yeah. Then we get, and she sings. She's singing. What was she singing? It was it's all coming back to me. It was, I don't know, but she did a good job in it.
When you touch me like this and you hold me like that, I just have to admit that it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were things I'd never do again, but then they'd always seem right. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any love allowed.
Well, one thing, she's fine, but the other two girls are amazing. They're good. Like, they're really good singers and performers, and she's good enough. So she's making all this racket. I like how she's like thinking about this and spinning around. She like, as the song ends, she's in front of her keyboard in the hotel room at the whatever it's called. The
Five Seasons.
The Five Seasons, yeah.
it's all coming back to me now. When you see me like this, and when I see you like that, then we see what we wanna see. All coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me now.
And she wakes up the little bitch Ram and his jammies knocking on her door.
That's right.
I thought I told the front desk no autographs.
I am so sorry, Miss Newmar, but hotel policy, no live music in our rooms after 9 p.m. There have been complaints.
Damn, Mr. Lodge. Nice to know you're still a little bitch.
Excuse me. What makes you think you can speak to me that way?
Well, for starters, you're here in your jammies, whining that my music's too loud. To me, that screams once a little bitch, always a little bitch. Move him if he's got a problem with my music.
Excellent idea, Miss Newmar.
Just
Again,
turn it down.
Dude, that's what I like. These couple episodes, he really is kind of put in his place. He has no agency in these episodes. And
yeah, she's the first person to really talk to him like he should be talked to. Like,
right.
Knock it off.
And she's got all this clout now, so like the concierge is just like doesn't pay any attention to him. You know?
Yeah, she went to New York. She lived with Katie Keene. Like she's lived through some shit, and now she's come back and it's more of an equal, playing field with the Rams. She's big stuff now. So
yeah. So she goes to Riverdale High and visits Waldo. He's got his kingpin hand. And she's going to teach a music class, apparently.
And I know when Archie learned that, the look on his face was like, what is this? An age-appropriate music teacher? What's going on?
Yeah. There was some sort of, there's the start of this storyline with where Chad screwed over Veronica and she needs money. Tabitha wants to invest money to franchise Pops. Yeah. And Veronica at first can't really help her. Well, then we get Alexandra Cabot visits, and she's one of the investors. And, she was going to want her money back, but Veronica talks her into investing in Pops, so it's a whole thing. But this new character, Alexandra Cabot, we're getting some stuff out of her this episode. Again, could be somebody from the comics. We don't know.
I think she was from Katie Keene.
Oh, okay. I'll believe that. She looks like she could, she's got enough spice to her. She could be, a recurring character. Archie reunites with Josie in the music room, of course, the same old high school music room. And he invites her to the White Worm, which used to be the speakeasy. Yeah. What was it called?
La Bonne Nuit.
La Bonne Nuit. So she calls the Pussycats. And then we get, this is where I messaged you guys some of my notes the other day to show you I was deep into it. It was like, so they come in media res, they're right into the worm, and Archie's finishing up his conversation. He's like, well, anyway, we made a sexy fireman calendar, but enough about me. Josie's like, what? Calling them out for being crappy people. He's like, she's like, Betty, you barely even talked to me in high school. And I was trying to think, they really did not engage much in the early episodes.
Wasn't the actress there were issues with the actress talking about producers like not using her enough and some I remember am I crazy or was that?
No, I believe it. What do you got there?
Oh, yeah.
Alexandra Cabot.
Okay, she was in there.
You'll recognize.
This is very dad energy.
Sorry. You'll recognize her in that white stripe of hair from the cartoon Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, okay. So, I've seen that character, yeah. Well, that's neat. See, I like when they use stuff like that. Look up, who were we talking about last? Who could have been?
Bingo?
Yeah, no. Yeah, look up
Bingo.
Who
That
was
was
it?
probably an Archie in the. That's probably a song they did, like in the 60s.
Yeah. No, I have no doubt.
He's just a dog. It's nothing
Yeah.
else. It's not depressing.
B-I-N-G. So she says, Jughead, you robbed. Last time I saw you, you rubbed Pops in a gargoyle mask or something. You know, you were a jerk. And Cheryl, you sent me a pig's heart. And she leaves. Outside, who's waiting for her? Sweet Pea on his motorcycle, and he takes her home for some. He takes her home for some Sweet D.
Josie McCoy,
Sweet Pea?
what are you doing at Pop's?
Leaving.
You want to ride? Wherever you're going?
I thought that was probably the same flannel shirt he was wearing at that pool party where they last hooked up. So I'm sure he's still wearing the same flannel shirt that she was at.
I'm a little disappointed that they've dropped Sweet Pea.
Yeah, well, he comes back real super nice. You know, this is his. He's a very invested in her. He likes her.
Do you guys remember when he beat the hell out of Jughead, though?
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah, he was a pretty big serpent character, and then all of a sudden he was just gone.
I'm convinced he was supposed to be his double originally. And and they were just like, hey, you're too tall for that. Why don't you just be on the show?
It was Cody.
Yeah.
It was Cody lurking in the wings.
Right.
Yeah, they've really
That's it. Yeah, there was a perfectly good. He was his triple. He was supposed to be his triple.
They've spotlighted Fangs quite a bit, but yeah, Sweet Pea kind of got shuffled off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too bad. So she meets up with Val and Melody at the Worm again, and they perform.
Mm-hmm.
The other Pussycats perform, and they're good stuff. And she wants them to record a song, you know, that song of her dad's or whatever that her dad was a musician, you know, and he died.
And then it kind of becomes the Dave finale with Gaeta being like, "You've never put me on." Like, we were there for you all this time, but like, you never gave us this chance.
Yeah, and they're mad about all that. We get over at the back at Pop Tate's, they do the Little Shop of Horrors. It's TT, Josie, and Alexander Cabot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. Kev's singing along a little bit in his booth.
Little shop of horrors, little shop of terror, call the cop. Little shop of horrors, no, oh, no.
But I didn't go back and look, but was TT pregnant in the dance scene? But as soon as the song stops, she is 9 months pregnant. But in the dance scene, she's just dancing around like nothing, and I did not even notice.
No, I remember her being visibly.
Okay, because I was like, I didn't notice it at all. Well, she was wearing like a black bodysuit.
Yeah.
But when she turned, right as soon as the song, she's standing by the booth, like, huge. It was funny.
Little shop of horrors, bop, shabop. You'll never stop the terror. Little shop of horrors.
Robin Givens shows up at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor Givens shows up.
Lawyer McCoy.
Yeah, she's like in for some dramatic stuff here. She's like crying and stuff in this episode. And, she brought the dad's ashes and his song. So, this is when she decides she wants to do one of his songs. And so Melody turns down Tyler Perry because she wants Val to be in her movie.
Right.
Alexander Cabot wants to nix the milkshakes at Pops. Well, we know that's never going to fly.
Mm-mm.
Tabitha's like, no way.
You switch the ingredients, you can make them a lot cheaper.
Yeah. So yeah. The Pussycats decide they're going to save the town. I don't know. I don't remember in what way they were going to. What were they going to put on a show or something?
Of course.
Raise funds to help reincorporate. Well, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be at the Worm. And guess who their biggest fan is?
Oh, I know. Their two biggest fans.
Well, the only one I remember is a freaking Dr. Curdle Jr. is a huge Joseph fan. He's got a fedora on.
Finally, we get to see him in his casual.
Yeah.
Casual Curdle.
Out on the town.
Casual Curdle.
Him and Waldo.
But he's hanging out with Waldo Weatherby.
Oh, yeah. In his
drinking fruity drinks. Just enjoying the music.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah,
I mean,
Chubbs Weatherby.
Yeah, they should have really backdoored a pilot with those two.
Yeah.
And I mean, forget Katie Keene. We want Dr. Curdle Jr. and Waldo.
He's really just complicating things, though, when the eventually has to do the autopsy on these people he's fraternizing with.
Right. You got to keep distant.
Yeah. Safe distance away. Oh. Yeah, that was hilarious. And then, so they start performing. Eventually, she sings this Nina Simone song, and her dead dad walks in, and Robin Givens is crying, and I'm feeling it. I was just like, wow, they pulled this off. As far as Riverdale usually does not pull off any emotional moments too well. It's all pretty hokey. But I was like, it was the music involved with it. I'm telling you, it was good stuff. I liked the music. That's fun. The performances, the whole thing. I wonder sometimes if the cast gets, how much of it is there? I know a lot of it's studio recordings.
Yeah.
So do they perform this then? Are they lip syncing some when they're performing? Do they get to get in the feeling of it when they're doing the scene, or is it just so, faked at the time? I don't know. But I thought it was good. And then TT goes into labor.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Obviously, you would think that Dr. Curdle was the closest person we had. Nope. No. Fangs and Cheryl.
You do not trust Dr. Curdle to bring a life into this world.
Takes him out. He's like, you let me know if anybody's dying.
So that was the highlight for me. The look on his face where he's like, I'm a doctor. And they're like, no thanks.
So Fangs and Cheryl are going to deliver. Josie invites the Pussycats to tour and co-headline. And, well, they're going to have to talk to Nancy and Alan Mayberry. but yes, assuming that goes through. Cheryl says it's a boy. Had a boy. She named it after somebody. Who was it? Who did she name it after?
Bingo?
Yeah. Let's say Bingo. It was named Bingo Mayberry. And then Sweet Pea's going to go with them on the tour.
Yeah, that's right. I remember just they kept adding people to the tour bus.
Everybody's
going to get on. Yeah.
This last 5 minutes, we talked about this being it felt like a backdoor pilot, but this last 5 minutes was so weird of hey everyone, we got this bus.
Yeah.
It looks like the Mystery Machine.
It does feel like a
and then this weird old guy shows up. It's like, I know who murdered your father.
Yeah.
And it's like,
your dad died of voodoo.
Yeah. So they all ganged together, got on the bus, and it's like,
let's
okay,
check
we're off
New Orleans.
Yeah, we're off to a new adventure, everyone. Yeah. And then there's they put the logo. It wasn't the Riverdale logo. It was Josie and the Pussycats logo. So yeah, the last 5 minutes became a whole different show that I'm not sure even exists yet. But I think they're trying to will it into existence.
Yeah. Hey, good luck. I don't see it happening, but that did definitely feel like they were. I mean, And then it all went away when we just getting to watch Dr. Curdle run alongside the bus with his sign. Oh, that was my fave so far this season.
And there were a couple references in this that they referenced Entertainment Tomorrow was a tabloid show.
I missed that one.
And the magazine Vanity Fair, Josie appeared in both. But then, I believe it was Alice, was buying Old Navy baby jeans. So we have very fake brands, but Old Navy, they had the Old Navy bag. She must have been buying them for the twins or something. But I now know that Old Navy carries baby jeans. So that was an important.
Nice. So what's the next one? This is the last one we're going to cover.
The next one is episode 16, chapter 92, Band of Brothers. Now, this one was directed by Robin Givens, so they brought her back.
Oh.
She acted in the previous one and then stuck around to direct this one.
Cool. We start out, I think we got, I don't know where we start. But we're at the Thistle House Church. We get Kevin in the Technicolor dream coat he's got on. And the costuming was awesome there.
Yes, this was for me. The last episode was for you. This one was for me. Where Jason himself commands no more singing. I was like, thank you. I will join this cult. I will join Jason's cult if there's no more singing. And Kevin was so disappointed to not get to put on the full show.
Oh, I was sorry. I literally thought he was going to sing Big Fun. And he has coat on. We get some Jug again at his AA meeting. And Betty's working the lonely highway, undercover again. Mr. Weatherby puts Jug on leave. I thought he probably already was on leave. Veronica's dodging.
Hey, how long did he spend with the rats? Did he still have a job or not?
I don't know.
I guess that was a flashback. Never mind.
It happens. Veronica dodges her books being audited. She needs cash. She needs cash. She thinks about the RAM. I know. How about palladium? Aha. Well, Hermosa had some link to palladium, and she'd been dating Reggie, so Reggie's going to help. Whatever. I never figured out how that went anywhere. But then we get back at Thistle House. Kev helps Cheryl upstage Mumsy. They're going to perform 3 miracles.
Yes.
That's how she's going to take it over.
Isn't that all you need for sainthood? Is that what
Yes.
Yeah.
She wants to be a living saint. And he really liked watching David Copperfield when he was a kid. So that's what he said. So he knows some magic. So then, Hermosa knew where the palladium was. Then we get all these.
The show has never known what to do with Kevin.
No.
For 5 seasons, they have never figured out what Kevin should be doing.
Yeah.
Put him back in the forest. We get the Archie War flashbacks, all that stuff, and there's some sort of storyline. I don't have any of it in my notes here, but there's a storyline going on where we had this previously, earlier in the season, I'm sure, where there's this one general that lied about something, and he's trying to get credit for his soldiers that died and all this stuff. This general's trying to make something off of it, and it's just it's not fun.
Archie knew it was the wrong mission and it would get people killed, but the general made them go anyway. And he's going to retire with full honors and get away with it.
So good for him. He's going to do something about it. But it's not a fun storyline at all. So if you feel you need to talk about it, go for it.
I do. I guess I credit the show with trying to tackle ideas like that. There's a lot of people in that generation who have been to war and are dealing with the repercussions.
I get that. It's just I
don't trust them.
They knew that they couldn't make it fun, and so they didn't, and so it wasn't.
Those are very declarative statements that are all true. Yes.
So Veronica gives Cheryl a spider brooch for a favor.
You can never have too many of those.
Yeah. Cheryl will say that the palladium came from her mines. And then, Ram won't have any say.
Instead of my usual homily, I thought today we might all benefit from a demonstration of my absolute authority in this ministry. To that end, as Jesus once changed water into wine, Jason has granted me the ability to turn water into maple syrup. The nectar of the gods. Truly.
With the first miracle. And if you didn't know what they were going to turn water into, you might as well tune out.
Where you been for 6 years?
The nectar of the gods.
Exactly. Syrup. Jug gets pressure again. This same old storyline. I feel like we've done this multiple times this season. He's got to turn something in to his agent, and he lost his. He didn't realize that he actually did write a book until it was too late.
Right.
And he turns in this other girl's book that she wanted him to do him, show his agent. Well, he turns it in as his own, which was the wrong thing to do. But so he ends up by the end of the show confessing about it. But he's no longer going to be a writer. He no longer has an agent by the end of this episode.
I was kind of surprised that wasn't something they drug out longer, where he tried to get away with it and cheat and did it, but it was just an immediate.
I just had that sick feeling where you just saw how long this was going to take. So that
girl would come back and accuse him, and it would become a whole thing.
And you just hate. I dread that kind of stuff. So I was glad for the resolution.
Yeah, this show has two gears. Either it ends by the end of the episode and it's never spoken of again, or it's drug out for a full season until we're sick of it. And I'm not sure which I prefer.
We get the palladium auction at the jewelry store. Ram can't buy any. He's not called on when he wants to bed. Yeah. And he's just, again, no agency. His paddle was ignored. And
he's so short, they couldn't see the paddle. He's like,
they totally should have done that. So they should have just had some tall guy in front of him, and that's it. That would have been amazing.
It could have been Sweet Pea.
Yeah, that would have been great. And that would have been hilarious.
Tall boy, tall bidder.
Yeah, tall boy could have been there in front of him. That would have been awesome. That would have been the most amazing thing.
Mijo, don't put me behind the tall man.
A tall boy wins again.
As Cheryl manifests the collective pain of our congregation, behold, her alabaster hands, how they bleed with the blood of the stigmata, mimicking the holy wounds of Jason.
We get the second miracle, the stigmata of the holy wounds of Jason in her alabaster hands. Like, what?
This was.
They really like to skirt, just walk the line there. Like that. I hope some people never watch the show again because of that. It would be the right people. The third one we get is the taming of the bees.
Behold Cheryl Blossom as she prepares her third and final miracle, the taming of the bees. Witness as her purity keeps her porcelain skin safe from these vicious, spiteful creatures.
This is nothing but a farce. I pray ye do not fall victim to her deceit, for if ye do, this ministry shall become nothing but a sham.
Brothers and sisters, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Allow me to be your guide.
Do not listen to this heretic.
Who are you going to put your faith in? Cheryl, who shared the womb with Jason the Divine? Or her mother, a whoremonger, an escaped convict?
Lies, all of it.
Mother, enough! Be gone from my temple, or I will smite thee. For I am Cheryl Blossom, queen of the bees.
Be gone, whoremonger, from my temple. For I am Cheryl Blossom, Queen of the Bees.
Forevermore.
And she pulls the bees out, and they're not stinging her or anything. And it was just an amazing moment there when she became Bee Girl.
And flummoxed Kevin. He's like, "How did you do that? Did you
we found that after the fact. Like, oh my gosh, So we get Chad, who's a born beta. He's like, he gets. They're trying to do this copter cab thing. Wasn't totally tuned in at this point, but there's a copter cab company they're trying to start.
That was his big investment. He sunk all these investors' money into this Uber for helicopters.
Right. And it gets blown up by the fact when they find out that there's stuff about his copter crash, and they're going to use it to ruin him. And this is how it's all going to come out about TT's baby, Veronica.
Right.
We're still holding on. Oh, Seth hasn't seen the last episode. He doesn't know if that's the truth or not.
No, that's totally going to be it. It's amazing. His assistant, this was the one, you said there was like fake companies. This was the only one that I caught was his assistant heard about it on his boysenberry. Was his BlackBerry, it wasn't his Apple phone, it was his boysenberry. And the truth is that Cheryl had no ointment. She may be the holiest of holies.
Mm.
And then at the end, we get Tabetty walking the lonely highway.
Yeah, together. Working it together. Betty's not excited about that. Yeah, we still need to Betty? I don't know.
So I thought I had come up with one by the end of the episode. I don't know if I love it, but that's what
Cooper, what's her name?
Tate.
Tooper. That's not much. You gotta have more than one letter in it. Come on.
Tate.
Yeah.
Coop Tate.
K.O. Peck
That's it. Tato. That's it. We should really screw this up now. Jeez. Anyway, do you have any other notes from that episode?
Nope. Queen of the Bees is where I stopped.
Nope.
That
All
was
I put was Queen of the Bees, whoremonger.
So Jughead is king of the rats, Cheryl is queen of the bees, and Riverdale is off to the races.
So she may be the holiest of holies, and I can't wait to see where this goes. And you guys already know, but next time we get together, we'll recap those final 3 episodes of this season.
Yeah.
I will admit, this first half of the second half, whatever it is, this middle part wasn't great. These episodes were not peak Riverdale. I very much enjoyed where it ended up. Like many times on this show, the ending saves it somehow, but it was a little bit of a slog. Even with just 19 episodes, it was a little bit of a slog getting there.
But it's worth it. It's still worth it.
It has been picked up for a season 6. We are getting that. That's going to premiere in November with a 5-episode event.
Yes.
Before going on hiatus until 2022. So in order to get everything filmed and ready, they've announced there's just going to be 5 episodes. It's going to be like a little mini-series.
I like this.
And then it'll go on break. They'll film all the rest. And then
we're going to Nolans.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll fill the gap between. Yeah. And we just this week learned Sabrina is coming. Kiernan Shipka confirmed she is coming on to the show in season 6. So I'm guessing that'll be this first 5 episodes will be something to do with that.
I'm excited about that. That's how I hated that it was her own thing anyway. I'm glad she should just be part of the show. I'm curious to see.
Credit where credit's due. You were the one from, I don't even know what season you started calling about, wanting to see the Blossoms and Cheryl be a witch and
pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Seth was on the witch bandwagon.
Here we are.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, that I did. That's right. I said Cheryl's going to be a witch by the time this is over, and sure enough. I think it was season 2. That's how far back I was like that girl.
Yeah.
There's something going on there. So I'm excited. So yeah, now I'm hyped to watch these last 3 episodes and then get that done right before that. You said November?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's exciting to get a 5. That'll so it must be going to be pretty. Must be going to be pretty far into 22 when they come back.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing it that late.
Yeah,
it's exciting. It's exciting. I know they just got done filming something. So was that the next season, or was that where they just got done filming this 5 episodes?
This is the first time they have started filming the next season while the previous season was still going on.
Oh, okay.
They've tried to get a jump on it as much as they could in these uncertain times.
Neat. Yeah, I'm back on the Dale bus. I'm going to Nolan's, and we'll see what voodoo kills her dad.
It's fun. We're on this till this bus crashes, I'm sure.
Oh, man.
We're talking to Cliff like this. What happens when this wraps up feels like we're either very close to the end, or this is kicking off a weird 10-year-long. It becomes Supernatural or Dynasty or one of those shows that's just on forever.
I honestly feel like at this point, this is a good thing for the show, coupled with them having to take a hiatus. With unfortunately because of the pandemic, but coupled that with a lot of failed side projects.
Yeah,
that's all good for us because these failed, for them to go into the stratosphere, any of them in stardom, pushes them back to this story. And,
so you are wishing for career failure.
Yeah. Like they're none of them are doing great elsewhere.
Yeah.
Much like Josie going off to the other show. This you got to come back home.
So they are all Pussycats, no Josies.
Yes.
Yeah. And I had, when they first announced this arc, this event, and I was like, oh, this is going to be really close to Halloween. And my first thought was like, do they dare, because it's only 5 episodes, do they dare do Afterlife with Archie or something?
Oh.
Whoa. To get my...
Well, that series still hasn't even been finished. That's annoying.
But isn't the showrunner the
that
guy... That
would be something.
Yeah. He's the guy that did the comic series, so... Yeah, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
They've hinted at that stuff, There's been a couple of zombie hints. Wasn't there something at Jason's funeral? I feel like there was something.
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah. At one of his funerals. The one where Kevin goes, yes. I made a gif and everything. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Let's let these people go home.
All right. That's more of the Dale for you. We sped through that one a little bit more than normal, but that's all right because who cares? It's just Riverdale. It's the thing we love and hate equal measures. And we will be back soon to finish this up and put a bow on this season before it comes back pretty quickly, like we just said. Anyway, that's it. My name's Jordan Love.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bingo forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, join our Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and access to Patreon-only benefits. We are grateful for anyone who chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will remain free. So please continue to like, comment, and share.